Every Saturday we follow, we cheer the boys in blue, the most successful team in football. We're Scotland's gallant few, though at times they have been hard, we've followed near and far. You will always hear us roaring from the stands in Ibrox Park.
Hello and welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. I am your host Scott Carney, and joining me in what will be quite a packed show is first of all Ali Pearson.
How we doing, lads? I've returned, like I was saying off earlier, I've returned back to normal. That's me back. Me and Gemma are talking about going out for a few pints this week, so maybe tomorrow, and the weather's to be decent. So we planned it because the pubs were supposed to be open inside, but obviously we know what happens, so
Yeah.
see what happens.
And yeah, Scott Gemmell's here. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, evening guys, or afternoon even. Aye, really good. Still uber happy from the weekend.
Still with a habit. Yeah, I was the same, man. It took me probably about halfway through this morning, I think. So this is Tuesday morning until I actually felt a wee semi-bit normal. The rough cut of days, but it was worth every single bit of it, and the continuous onslaught from Rangers media, the media group that they've got with the pictures and that they constantly keep putting up. It's spectacular, and I've got so many screenshots on my phone that I just go back and watch. It's tremendous. But it's going to be obviously a slightly different Club Deck Corner. Obviously, we're not going to be finishing with a preview of the next game because we don't know when that next game is going to be. But stay tuned, and at the end you can find out how you can get involved in our next podcast coming up. But gentlemen, there is only one place to start, and it's with the 4-0 demolition job of Aberdeen on Saturday. So an own goal from Lewis, a double from Kemar Roofe, and Jermaine Defoe. Goal sealed a rather easy day's work for the champions. So, Ali, as far as trophy day games go, that was a rather good one, was it not?
Aye, it was perfect. I mean, you don't know what you're going to get with the Sheep, to be honest. The Sheep had nothing to play for, but at the same time, they hate us. So you thought they would come down, try and ruin our day. As much as the unbeaten thing wasn't massive, but you're one game away from it. You want to do it. I thought it was fairly easy. There was a 10-15 minute spell in the second half where the Sheep missed a couple of setters, and especially Lewis Ferguson when he cracked the bar. And then we just ran up. And it was typical Rangers. All Aberdeen, 15 minutes, they hit the bar. We got the park score, game over. We're clinical. We've been clinical all season. And yeah, it was another routine win. And I think I've seen we've won, I think it's like, is it 11-0 against Aberdeen this season or something like that between all the games, something like that. And it's... Aye, Aberdeen, who supposedly used to be a challenger to us, they are miles behind us.
I think they like to believe that they're rivals of Rangers, mate. They aren't. They're just not the rivals. I think I seen that aggregate thing you were talking about.
Yeah.
Somebody put up, and it's frightening. Like all the teams would be. I think we struggled the most against Motherwell. I think that was the biggest one. They'd scored the most goals against us. Oh, and Hibs as well. Yeah, but Scott, your thoughts on the game on Saturday?
We kind of finished the season as we start. Well, we did finish the season as we started it, beating Aberdeen. So that was quite a nice way to round it off. But I know we played. I thought we played really well for the majority of that game. You know, you've always got the fear that you'll go out with a whimper, that it maybe puts a wee bit of sour note on the celebrations afterwards if you come away with a draw, or God forbid you get a defeat. No, but I thought we were really solid at the weekend there, and I'm just gutted that we've got to wait all summer to see us again.
Yeah, but it's rather pleasing to see Rangers finish the way we did with Livingston and with Aberdeen. Rangers were clinical. That's really all you can really say is Aberdeen. I mean, that Lewis Ferguson miss is a howler. I've watched the game back and it's an absolute howler, man. It really is. And Alan McGregor makes a couple of saves. Obviously, Aribo going off puts Kamara into kind of left back, so we were always going to struggle a wee bit. But just to do it the way we did, Kemar Roofe literally taking the chance. Hadji would have touched the Kemar, and for Roofe to score and make it 3-0 really killed the game. As I say, Aberdeen huffed and puffed after that, but never really got into it. And then Jermaine Defoe, doing what Jermaine Defoe does, comes on and scores a goal, makes it 4. Yeah, a kind of perfect end to a rather perfect season for Rangers. So we go invincible. For the league campaign, we've broke all sorts of records. Only 13 goals conceded all season in the league. 100% win record at Ibrox. We finish on 102 points, 25 points clear of the other half of the old firm. Ali, in terms of a league season, yes, we know the cups weren't good enough. Europe was really good. Maybe disappointed a wee bit we didn't do better, but as a league season, you literally couldn't dream this.
No, it's phenomenal when you look at the stats and how many clean sheets is it 26 clean sheets we've had, I think, as well. It's frightening figures, to be honest. If somebody had told me that at the beginning of the season, I would have told me to piss off, to be honest. That's frightening figures. And you even look back in some of the games we dropped points in. There was a Hamilton game, the very last kick of the ball. There was the St Johnstone game, the very last kick of the ball. We could have had even more points, to be honest. But it was, but that's really nitpicking. But it's fantastic, and I don't think we'll ever see a season like that. Being a Rangers fan again, I really don't. I think it's one of these once in a lifetime things that come round. I think it'd be very hard to do that again. I'd love to do it again, but no. What else can you say about that Rangers team? I think they'll go down as a really special team and a footballing team as well. They're good in the eye, this Rangers team, and fantastic. I'm so proud of them this season.
Yeah, I'll join in on that, mate. I'm very proud of Rangers this season, and especially the way we've done it. Scotia, is this the greatest Rangers team you've seen in your lifetime, do you think?
Oh, I need a few years to sit back and kind of reflect on that. I think we've mentioned it before previously, talking about Europe and stuff like that, that I think we will look back in 5-10 years and go, actually, this has been one of the best Rangers team we've seen. But I think it's far too early to kind of start making those comparisons yet, because it's beginning to sink in. But I've got a whole summer to kind of celebrate it still and go for it. But no, you're not wrong that I think that conversation will be had about this team, because they have been good, really good.
I think it has to happen. I've never seen a dominance like this in a league from a Rangers team. So I think the conversation will come up, and it's one of them things you romanticize over time, and you will look back at it eventually and be like, that team was really, really special. Some of the players that we had were really, really special, and just long may it continue. We just need to build on that, and we'll keep going. But the stats are astronomical. They really are. I mean, it's absolutely unbelievable what we've done. So congratulations to Rangers for it. I actually was thinking, the only one of the kind of non-starting 11, if you like, that hasn't scored a goal was Balogun and McGregor, obviously. But every other player in that team has scored a goal this season in the league. I think that's remarkable.
Yeah, well, especially when you look last season, and I think Gerrard sort of said this, that we relied too heavily on Alfredo and Jermaine Defoe at times, and we weren't getting the goals right. I mean, you look at the other side of the city a couple of years ago, they had wingers like Scott Sinclair and bloody James Forrest, but they would contribute with goals. Our midfield in terms of wingers weren't really contributing numbers, but this season they have. Look at Ryan Kent's numbers. You look right across, you look at that back line, Goldson scoring goals, Tav, 19 goals. Christ, that's frightening. It's all over the park, and that's what you want. You don't want to rely on just one player, because we found out last season when that one player kind of turns off slightly, you're up shit creek, because the goals weren't coming from anywhere else. And this season, you just felt we could score. Anyone would score this year. You just felt for set pieces, corner kicks. It was coming from all over the park, the goals this season, Rangers, and no, absolutely brilliant. I think that's something they've worked on as well because of previous seasons.
Yeah, definitely. And players like Jermaine Defoe and Kamar Roof especially, I think have made a massive impact. We gave Roof a hard time on here, and probably rightly so. At one point we did give Roof a bit of a hard time, but I've watched a few videos and stuff back of the league, and there was a new one released by G, but it was the kind of end of the back to where we belong one. Absolutely brilliant. And it's just the different players I've seen scoring. I was like, that's crazy. Like, you just kind of forget that so many players contributed to it. But anyway, we'll move on to the Aberdeen game. Was a very nice warm up, which was to the main event, and that was obviously James Tavernier lifting that trophy. A moment that we seemed to have waited a lifetime for. Let's be honest. I mean, it's 10 years since we've seen it. I cried. I witnessed about 2 seconds of Tav lifting that trophy at first, and then I bawled my eyes out for about 5 minutes after it. Literally just overwhelmed with emotion. Scotia, it's hard to try and get you to sum it up right now, but your feelings of just what it means to you, and how good it was to see the players lift that trophy.
No, it's total elation, because people need to remember there was the fear that our club wasn't going to exist anymore, or our club wouldn't exist in the kind of the top 4 leagues of Scottish football. There was a very real danger of that not happening. So to come back and actually get it within the decade, it's wildest dream kind of stuff that it's actually happened. You know, there's clubs that have been in that structure of Scottish football for over 100 years that have come nowhere close to it. It was just, I think you look back to when, obviously, the last time we won it, that was tinged with a wee bit of sadness, because obviously that was Walter Smith's going to be his last spot in the manager job there. You know, you were absolutely delighted, but there was that wee bit of sadness that was changing the guard a wee bit. And just to win it, you can't really describe how good it was. You know, you go into a pure wreck thinking about it. I don't think I did. I think I had a wee tear in my eye, but I don't think I bubbled too much. But again, it was something that you were dreaming of and waiting for so long. So, it was brilliant, absolutely fantastic.
I didn't think I was going to. I genuinely didn't. I thought, no, you've got this under control, Scott. You've had a couple of beers now. You've seen the game out, and it wasn't going to happen. As soon as I seen John Gregg hand him the trophy, I could feel it coming. I was like, oh God, I'm going to burst out crying here. And then as soon as he lifted it, as I say, it took over me. Ali, Amazon better been in here making one of these shows about this, I'm telling you.
They've been tweeting all through the season about Rangers, and they haven't done that previously. So it would be, it's fairy tale stuff. If you take where we've come through the division, stop Celtic's so-called 10 in a row, for Christ's sake. You could make movies, documentaries about it. It would be blockbuster stuff. And in terms of what it means, I think Scotia's right. I don't think it'll really sink in, and maybe a few weeks down the line when we maybe all get together and we're all out in the pubs together and we can actually have a good talk about it. But the pressure this season was massive. And I think I've told you guys before, I've never suffered with anxiety, but I did this season. After every bloody game, I ticked a game off and I'd go a couple of days, and then the next game was coming around the corner and I was like, shite, building up for it again. It's because it meant that much this season. It was huge. If the other side of the city did win the league this year, and we've said their 8.75 was tainted, they'd never let us forget about it. They would be rubbing it right into us. And to go and do it this season when they had it wrapped up, or they thought they had it wrapped up, the way we've done it, it's incredible. And it's quite hard to try and explain to people who aren't from this city, or I work for an English company down south, and try to explain to some guys down there, they just don't get it, because they're not in the goldfish bowl up here of what it's like. And it's fantastic, and we've broken their hearts so much, and I fucking love it.
Yeah, it's
sorry for swearing there.
No, it's all right, mate. You're quite all right, mate. I've said a lot worse, I think, anyway.
Yeah.
It is hard to sum up the way that it feels, and it probably is. It's like happiness and relief all at the same time. Scotia, you made a great point. There was points that we didn't know this was going to happen. We didn't know if we were going to have a football club anymore. And it was dark days. It was fucking horrible. But to finally get it, I think there was such an outpour of an emotion from kind of everybody. Everybody I know, really, and my dad as well. And not being able to really spend it with him wasn't ideal either. It really should have been with him, but we will make up for it, obviously, when we're allowed to. But it's going to take a wee while. Every now and again I catch myself and I'll read something or I'll see a picture of something, and again I can feel the emotions flowing through me again, and it's everything to us, and we've finally gone and done it. And people can say how much Celtic collapsed all they bloody want. Didn't matter how good Celtic were going to be this season. We would have been better than them. Look at our stats. League tables don't lie. 25 points. Do you know what I mean? 25.
I think that the league table shows you how good, and it reiterates how good Rangers have been in the league this season. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It was nothing to do with anyone else other than the Rangers, the fact that we won this league.
Spot on, mate. Absolutely spot on. So just a quick mention, really, just to some of the scenes that we've seen on the Friday night before the game, the Union Bears, but the Friday night pyrotechnics when they lined up the Clyde down at the quay. Ali, this is truly one of the most spectacular things I have ever seen a British fan base of a football club do. It was absolutely tremendous, and hats off to them for it.
Oh, it was outstanding. I mean, you guys know I used to live right down where it happened.
Literally right there.
Only 2 years ago. I wish I was still back in my flat there and I could have witnessed it. It was outstanding. I mean, I remember we played was it Legia Warsaw in the Europa League playoff, whatever it was, to get into Europa League group stages, and they did a display and things like that. I mean, it looks brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. But the Union Bears get a bit of a hard time now and again. Sometimes deservedly so. But I just thought it was outstanding from the guys. They were socially distanced as well along the Clyde as well. And it was the way nobody knew about it. Nobody knew about it at 10:30 at night, and it looked outstanding. And how they're going to top that, I'll never know, because that's just... I'd love to know who came up with that out of the Union Bears, because he needs a few pints bought from all the Bears.
100%. Aye, 100%.
It was brilliant. It was outstanding, and I've showed everyone the video, and everyone you show it to is like, holy buggery, man, that's mental.
It's spectacular. It's a real feather in the cap of them with that one Scotia. It's breathtaking stuff, really goosebump stuff.
Oh, it was absolutely wonderful, and I think hats off to the Union Bears for that. You know, as Ali says, they do get quite a bit of stick. I think some of it sometimes is undeserved, because without them, sometimes Ibrox could be deed most of the times.
Aye.
Yeah, and you would hear grumblings of, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" To have would be one of the grumbles you could hear when they're not singing. So I think they need credit. You know, they try and keep it going, and what they done on Friday night there was absolutely spectacular. I mean, I was winding down, ready to go to sleep, and then Ali had messages both saying, "Wait to see this," and then that was me up again, absolutely buzzing for like the next 4 hours.
Yeah, it was.
And just in Union Bears, they're growing their kind of fan base now, if you want to say, with all what they do. They do a lot of fantastic displays that we go at Hampden. Those guys are out there putting flags and banners out. It's fantastic. And obviously every year they put a message out if you want to move your season ticket within their area. And I mean, Scotia had a rough conversation about it. You've got guys in the Broom Loan that have maybe been there years and years and years that don't want to give up their seat, but they're slowly going to take over that Broom Loan front, the Union Bears, and they're getting a lot of probably younger generation fans wanting to be right in amongst it. And fair play to the lads, because it's going to create an even better atmosphere at Ibrox.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I plaudits to them for it, honestly. And yeah, as I say, sometimes it make it a bit of a hard time. Whether you agree or disagree with that, we're not here to talk about that, really. But it was truly remarkable. Honestly, it was one of them ones. And the picture of that wee boy standing on that bridge with it down the both sides of them all flared up. I mean, I'd have gave in to been 8-year-olds and got a picture like that, man. I'd have the side of my house would be the size of that picture, I'm telling you. Truly amazing, and well done to them. And also a quick shout to the Dubai Loyal for the Sunday night for lighting up the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. Ali, we are worldwide. Worldwide.
Doesn't shock me. Rangers fans are all over the world. I mean, I've told you, I've been out working in Australia, and I've watched the games with the Brisbane Loyal out there at the time, and there was like 40, 50 guys in a pub the other side of the world watching a game at 1 o'clock in the morning. Absolute mental. But that was special to see that lit up. I mean, I actually seen, I think it was a Celtic fan had tweeted something about, he thought he was out in Dubai and he went the whole day with nothing Rangers, and then they light this up. It ruined his day, apparently. I thought, brilliant.
Yeah, Scotia, that was truly tremendous. And again, just hats off to the Dubai Loyal and for Rangers for organising that.
Definitely. credited to Loyal. I think is that the first time a football club's ever let that up. I know it gets lit up quite a lot for different occasions. First time a football club's ever done it, and it's us. It was wonderful to see. Kind of we knew it was coming. Obviously, David Edgar had dropped a couple of hints in his daily updates last week, and I was like thinking what it was going to be, speculating what it was going to be. But it was wonderful to see that. I know there's quite a few expat Scots guys and Northern Irish guys, etc. out there, and for them to be able to see that, because these fans that are out there obviously don't get to go to Ibrox every second week like ourselves. It must be great for them, and and the credit to them. They're even though they're not not at Ibrox every week, they're no less part of Rangers family.
100%, mate. Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, it was just spectacular. I've seen a lot of good stuff. We really have. It's been brilliant, and the scenes are great. Some of the pictures are fucking fantastic as well. And we've all have our own memories now of what Trophy Day was when we won 55, and it's rather special, as I say, and it's just going to continue to go on. We've got all summer for this. So just on obviously the aftermath of the day, obviously the scenes down at Ibrox looked incredible. The march to George Square looked incredible, but then it was always going to be let down. And I think we all, when I say always, I think every single one of us knew that eventually there was going to be something that would come out and people wouldn't be able to behave themselves the way that they probably should. I seen, as again, David Edgar, I'll name drop him, he mentioned it was Scotland's relationship with alcohol. I've been a lot of places that don't involve football, but there's been a lot of alcohol consumed and there's fights happened. This was always going to happen. The way they behaved doesn't represent every single Rangers fan. We all know this, that it doesn't. The majority of the fans behaved themselves like they should, representing the club to the high standard that they should. And I have no doubt that if the club can help find the culprits for being wee dafties, basically, just for being wee dafties, the club will help them. And if they have season tickets, I'm pretty sure they will be banned. But Ali, it was always going to happen. I don't know how Rangers can possibly have stopped this.
I don't know what they can do. It's a non-ticketed event. It's not. It's. Everyone knew this was happening. They've had God knows how many months to gear up for it. Police Scotland, the way they've dealt with it is to kind of let them get on with it and try and manage it, it looks like, rather than try and not let them go to where they were going. The problem is when you mix alcohol, and especially drinking all day, with idiots, and there is idiots in amongst our support as there is idiots in amongst every other support in the world, and these idiots don't represent good Rangers fans like ourselves that go to Ibrox every week. A lot of these guys have probably never been to Ibrox. They might not even be Rangers fans. So for all you know, I mean, you don't know, and it's for what some of them did. And it is the minority out of how many thousands of people was it. It's a small minority. It happens everywhere. I think I listened to David Edgar and Heart in Hand. It happens in places like Tina Park. It happens everywhere when you involve alcohol. And yeah, I don't know what Rangers can do. What do they want Rangers to do? Rangers have come out and said, please follow the government guidelines. Rangers can't possibly, how can Rangers, unless it's within Ibrox, they can't do anything. And in terms of these people that have done something, if you can prove they've got a season ticket, Rangers will take the season ticket off them. They'll do things like that. I don't know what they can do. And you look at the next day, there was the march, was it Free Palestine march, whatever it was? Nothing about it. That's just that. I know, but it's just. But no, in terms of the you want to call them daft wee boys that were up to no good, they don't represent my football club, and they definitely do not represent me, and I don't want to be tarnished with that brush at all.
Yeah, Scotia, you get anything else to add to that, mate?
No, it's exactly that, isn't it? I only caught up with the daily update from Heart and Hand earlier, just before we recorded this, so I'm not even finished it yet. But a lot of the things that I was thinking, Edgar had mentioned there, that it happens everywhere. I mind, obviously, me and Ali were down in Piccadilly Gardens in Manchester. What is that, about 14 years ago now? And exact same kind of thing happened. A few numpties, more than a few numpties, but by no by no means way the majority have ruined it, and it's ridiculous. I've seen it happen in mind when Wills and Kate get married. Kelvin Grove Park turned into a riot. It's a societal issue with Scotland and its relationship with alcohol. I think's the key thing. For whatever reason, it just descends into chaos for a small minority of people. And I agree with what Ali's saying there. Yeah, I don't want to be tarnished with this brush because that's not who I am. So Rangers, and I think last time I checked, there was 28 arrests made.
Something
Last time I checked, that might have changed now. That's the last time I checked, that was it. So if these people are found to have done something criminally wrong, then punish them. And as Ali says, if they've got season tickets, then yes, they should be taken away from them. The people that have done that should be punished. By no way am I saying that they shouldn't be. But you can't then just turn around and say, because you're also a Rangers fan, you're exactly like that. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm not. I'd like to think I'm not anyway.
Yeah. You definitely aren't, mate. I've known you for long enough to know that you're not one of them. Well, no, I don't know about Pearson. He's a wee bit dodgy, but no. In all seriousness, though, this is the reason we didn't go anywhere near George Square or not go anywhere near Ibrox, because we know what's going to happen. We know this is going to happen. I don't want to be tarred with that brush. I don't want to see my picture on a paper, and as if I'm doing something wrong just for supporting my club. But it's people like this that really let it down and just make an arse of themselves and just give the sticks to the authorities to beat us with. It's moronic, it's stupid behaviour, but it was always going to happen anyway. So that led obviously to, so we went for a wee bit of a high. I'm not going to call this a low because it's not a low. It's again just pathetic behaviour from people that are in some sort of authority figures in this country and bits of power. Nicola Sturgeon's obviously had her say regarding the disgusting behaviour of Rangers fans, which has led to a video that I'm sure everybody is aware of. That a video was released by a guy called Willie Wanker. So the video was clearly doctored. When it was released, it was immediately poo-pooed, and the real video was released to show that there was no sectarian slurs made. However, it has caused a moronic, pathetic personal attack on our club by the Justice Secretary in this country, Humza Yousaf. So tinfoil hat wearers obviously started howling at the moon, as you would expect. He released a tweet that said, "I have also been made aware of this clip, and if I stress if, this clip genuine, and then any player or staff member found to be guilty of anti-Catholic hatred should be shown the door by the club. It is right that Police Scotland investigate and determine the facts around it." That tweet was attached to the statement that was released by Police Scotland regarding this. "We are aware of the video circulating on social media, apparently showing Rangers players using sectarian language while celebrating on Saturday. We are assessing its contents even, and will liaise with the Crown Office and the Procurator of Fiscal Service as part of our inquiries." So the club responded back to players. That is, again, I said, this all stems from the First Minister's comments around thug big bad Rangers destroying Glasgow. Ali, I really genuinely don't know where to start with this. This seems predetermined, premeditated even. It's as if this seems to have been planned. And I'm trying my hardest not to put on a tinfoil hat. I released a tweet and a Facebook post last night. I ran it past you so you knew what I was going to say and kind of the club standpoint, the podcast stance on it. Now, this is all personal. This is the fear of our club. As a support, as an institution, they cannot deal with this in any way, shape or form. I am shocked that the Police Scotland and this Justice Secretary has released this kind of hate campaign thing, all based on a fake video.
Yes. I mean, the hatred towards our football. I mean, we talked about it before the game, and I said, especially after what happened down the south side on Friday, and that was applauded. The good people of Glasgow coming out, and it was all brilliant. And I knew, because we all knew it was happening Saturday. We all knew the Rangers fans were gathering. And I just knew the Sunday, wait till you see the tabloids, they will bash us. 100% Nicola Sturgeon had that. I seen it on Twitter, a 5-page, whatever it was. She had that written out before Saturday. She was just waiting to press go on it. And I mean, that video that came out, and like you say, doctored from an account in TikTok called Willy Wanker. I mean, that says it all. I mean, and for Humza Yusuf, who, let's be honest about it, is a hater of Rangers. He is
he's a Celtic fan.
He's a Celtic fan. We know he's a Celtic fan. We know he hates us. He's playing to the gallery of the Celtic fans. The SNP know they get a lot of their votes from that side of the city. Rangers are associated with unionists, as in we don't support the SNP. So of course they're going to bash us. And for James Dornan, he's another one. SNP coming out bashing us on Twitter, and these guys haven't even looked at it. And for Police Scotland to then tweet about it, it's whoever tweeted about that in Police Scotland should be sacked, because that is shocking. Not to do your homework. And I would say more than half that Rangers team are probably Catholic. Mm-hmm. Why would they? And you see them coming on the park, they'll cross bless themselves, whatever. We don't give a monkeys about that. That's 40, 50 years ago nonsense. We're in the here and now. It doesn't matter if you're Catholic, it doesn't matter if you're black, it doesn't matter what you are. You put the blue jersey on and we'll support you. And I'm not shocked, which is frightening. It's frightening, but Police Scotland to tweet that, and Rangers to actually come out and put a statement on the back of our players singing Sweet Caroline, it's embarrassing, and it's embarrassing for Scottish football. English football must be looking up here going, this is nonsense. But you know what? They're trying to bash Rangers at every opportunity, and it just shows. I mean, the hatred is bad as it is bad at the moment, but it just shows how bad the hatred really is. That we knew when we won 55 it would cause uproar up here, but oh my God, they cannot handle it whatsoever. And I hope Rangers get their lawyers involved and go right after your Dornan, Yusuf and Police Scotland and go to town on them, because it's absolute slander against our players who were enjoying themselves after winning a championship to be told they were singing a song that they clearly were not singing.
Yeah, spot on, mate. Literally, I can't disagree with anything you said. Scott, we're made out that we're the bigots and we're the ones that are destroying Scotland. This is people in power that are doing this. This isn't your just normal run of the day fan stuff. This is generally I'm flabbergasted by it.
No, it's worrying. There's been what you could say over the last 10 years or more, there's been an awful lot of populism sneaking into politics itself. You can see that all over the world with the way things are going. Don't want to get too bogged down in politics and whatnot, but it's becoming this, and it's becoming us and them. There can't be any middle ground. There can't be any. You can hold two different opinions that might not tie up with each other. It's becoming worrying that some people just need to kind of. I'd seen someone, I don't know who it was, but I'd seen a tweet coming out that no intelligent person could be a Rangers supporter because they're unionist, they're fascist, they're this, they're that, they're not. That's not true. There might be some people that are unionists, quite a lot of people that are unionists support Rangers, but there's also going to be quite a lot of people that aren't maybe unionists that support Rangers, and you can't tar us all with the same brush. They're doing exactly what they're accusing of us. That's what they're doing. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. I'd said before we got to yours on Saturday, Carney, I said even if like your COVID situation wasn't here today, they would still come out with the same stuff. The same narrative would be getting painted. Right, the condemnation of the fans that misbehaved, yes, we can all agree with that. I've not found anyone that's not disagreed with that from what I've kind of looked through on Twitter and everything so far. But it's ridiculous, and it's how people can take that video seriously. I mean, we've spoke with before how Twitter can be an absolutely brilliant thing at times, but it can also be an absolute cesspit. And I think what that video's shown is how bad a cesspit it can be, and people kind of catching up with it. And then people will see the video that's been doctored, and that'll be their opinion that's made of it. Because that song, the Sweet Caroline, with the wee bit in there, I think is it something called like a Monday Green? That's what it is. You hear something there that isn't actually there in song lyrics. I think Peter Kay done a good skit about it. But that's what it is. People have heard that first one, and now every time they hear it, they'll hear what they want to hear. And it's not, and it slanders our player. I see someone's actually tweeted Glenn Kamara in the Finnish national team saying, "Oh, I've not heard it myself, but lots of people have heard it." But then he's tagging Glenn Kamara and the Finnish national team in a tweet. It's it's Twitter. I'm glad my phone died with battery yesterday, that I didn't manage to get on, because from what I've seen today, it didn't look great yesterday.
I've never understood the mentality of some people that will go out of their way to be offended by something. They literally live their lives actively seeking something to be offended by. It's moronic beyond belief, mate, and I can't understand why they thought for 1 second that this was going to somehow stop Rangers celebrating the way that we've celebrated, going on the achievement that we have just done as a football club, that we were going to get brought down by a ridiculous video, honestly, and nobody checking sources of anything and putting public statements and stuff like this out. I'm not a political man. You both know that. I very, very rarely vote. If I do vote, I'm really not interested in it at all. So that's before any moon howlers want to say that I'm a unionist, and I'm this and I'm that, and I'm after something else. But this, in my personal opinion, is all because it goes against their narrative of this indie ref 2 that they want. And it's, oh no, Big Bad Rangers are back. It looks like the unionists might be gaining a wee bit of power, and we need to do something. As Ali, you said, mate, Nicola Sturgeon was sitting with a finger on the button, ready to press send as soon as she woke up that morning to say, "Oh my goodness, the Rangers fans have destroyed Glasgow," yada, yada, yada. And it leads on to this just absolute nonsense. But Police Scotland, honestly, hang your head in absolute shame. It is absolutely disgusting behaviour. I am shocked by it. I don't hate the police. My dad's a retired police. I've had members of my family that have been police, nothing against the police at all, but this is so unbelievably bad judgment by them. They have to respond to this. This is pathetic to the highest nature. And yeah, I'll just leave it with what I said in the post last night: is we will not conform to your lies, your tricks, and your wish for us to die. We can feel your fear. We are Rangers, we are the people, and we will not go away. And there is nothing any of you can do about it. Your hate-filled agendas, you can put them to bed, because, yeah, it's just not on. And I hope the club, same as Ali, you've said, I hope the club go after. When this is put to bed, I hope the club go after them, because it's just absolutely not on. Any more to add to that, gentlemen, before I move on to a wee bit happier times?
I think we covered that quite well. I know Scotia might want to say something.
Yeah, well, no, something I've seen pop out today as well is strict liabilities back on the table.
Oh, Christ, honestly.
You covered it at the start there, Carney, that what can Rangers do? Unless it happens within the confines of a Rangers' own property, what can Rangers do about it? Yeah, that can get to buggery, if you ask me.
Yes. I think that opens up far too many questions, mate. It opens far too many kind of loopholes all round about it. What if a guy in a Motherwell top attacks somebody in Mallorca? Is that Motherwell's fault? Like, and I'm not actually moving it away from being Rangers, because you can't just have strict liability for Rangers. It's going to need to be for every single football club. So yeah, that one you can put straight in the bin, because that's never going to work. That's just an absolute joke. And then what's to stop people going out and buying, I don't know, a Dundee United top when they support Dundee and setting things on fire as a Dundee United fan just to get the club into trouble? Absolute nonsense. It's just an absolute farce. That won't happen. Anyway, rant over, gentlemen. Rant over. We'll move on to a bit of happier times. So the much brighter note that I want to bring it back to is Rangers have announced that season ticket and hospitality renewals have unbelievably passed 44,000. 44,000, Ali. This is remarkable, and we truly are a support like no other.
Not surprised at all. Rangers fans did this last season in a pandemic. Obviously, we're all season tickets. We never got, like everyone else, never got to go to Ibrox last season. We all watched on the telly like everyone else. Again, you're going into a new season where potentially it looks like it's going to be phased back in. How many games we'll get to next season, we don't know. But it doesn't surprise me. The Rangers fans are... What word can you describe them with? They're fantastic. They're loyal. You see when we went down the divisions, we were breaking records in Division 3 with season ticket numbers and fans going there. Doesn't surprise me. Made it probably a bit easier for Rangers this season in terms of the way they've went about their business with the Championship, and you've got a Champions League hopefully coming up. But it's to sell 44,000 season tickets in our season ticket renewal date was literally a 4-week window, I think, to renew. And to do that in 4 weeks, I think Celtics is still out, or it's not even out yet. They haven't got a manager, for Christ's sake, but I'd love to see them do that in 4 weeks. 44,000 season tickets. Hats off to all the Rangers fans out there.
Yeah, Scotia, this is, as I said, it's not really a surprise, but it's truly remarkable.
Yeah, not at all, yeah, because I'm like everyone gasping to get back to Ibrox to watch football. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. I've had to check a couple of times. Well, my phone was dead, so I was really worried that my tweet had, or my confirmation email that I'd renewed it hadn't come through, but I managed to dig it out in the laptop because you've always got that we fear that you've not done it quite correctly. But thankfully mine's is there, so all going well that we should get back to some form of normal football in terms of fans at the ground next season.
Yeah, well done to you, Scotia. Well done to you, Ali, for getting your season tickets. I'm proud of you boys, generally am. And as I say, I've got mine as well, and I can't wait now just to get back. But it's truly brilliant. After the year we've had, obviously, with this pandemic and everything, for us to do that, it's brilliant. So the Player of the Season awards, so the PFA, the writers, the Manager of the Year have all been announced. I'm sure you've all seen them. The PFA was James Tavernier, the Football Writers was Steve Davis, the SPFL Player of the Year, which is a weird one, was Alan McGregor, and not weird that it was Alan McGregor, it's just a weird award. And the Manager of the Year is Steven Gerrard. Rangers also had their awards on Monday night, but we are not going to get into that tonight, gentlemen. We're going to leave that for our next show, and we'll go into much more detail about it. We are going to do our own awards pod at the end of this week, and this is a chance for you listeners to get involved. So I'll be putting out a poll vote on our Facebook page and our Twitter page at some point tonight after this pod is all launched, so you can have your say. So you can get voting, leave a comment, and we could read it out on the pod, and we will award the Club at 22 listeners Player of the Season, just as a wee thank you to y'all, just to get involved in our podcast. So please do leave your comments. We're also going to do a goal of the season, and we might just be introducing a new member of the Club at 22 family here. Just a maybe just now. I'm doing my best to try and convince him to join us. You know who you are. So yeah, get involved. So keep your eye out for it. So it'll be out at some point tonight, Tuesday night. We'll leave it open until, well, I think we'll decide. We'll probably record on Friday, so I'll probably leave it out till about Friday morning, maybe sometime Friday afternoon. But I'll make that decision later, and the information will be on that. So get involved and leave a comment. We could read it out on the pod later this week. So Ali, obviously, without giving away too much about your Player of the Season, etc., no real surprise in the kind of PFA Football Writers and the Manager of the Year, really.
Nah, I mean, the Manager of the Year, I've seen a few folk flinging about Callum Davidson, but nah. Steven Gerrard for what he's done in the league and Europe, which folks seem to forget about all the time. He had that, to me, that was a no-brainer. In terms of Player of the Year, football players, the Writers of the Year, it could be any one of the four. It really could. There's arguments for all of them. We'll come on to who we think, obviously, should be Player of the Year in terms of Rangers. You could get... to me, this season, it's a team award, if you could give a team award, because the four that are up for it deserve it as much as each other, because there's arguments for them all. And I've got mine, which I'll come on to on Friday. So I'm looking forward to putting my points across for why I've chosen that certain person.
Yeah, good. I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, Scotia, but again, no real surprise that we have just dominated these awards this year.
No, I mean, as we said earlier, you look at the league table and no one else can really come into the conversation, I don't think. So, yeah, it's what I expected it to be, particularly with the way the writers and the players went. That's how I thought it would go. Because it always throws up the oddities. The players, I think, and a lot of fans can go look at the players one and go, what? But you forget that it's all the players in your league that are voting for you, that have come up against you. So, that makes sense. But it's been a great season for us, so it doesn't surprise me that we dominate these kind of lists at the end of them.
Been a tremendous season, and it's just going to keep...
I would say, just when we were talking about that, did you see the picture of Alan McGregor?
Oh God, I know.
That was last Sunday morning.
I don't know if it was... I generally don't know. The club put it up that he was emotional, and I'm like, emotional or just pissed? Like, he looks like he's been on it for a couple of days.
The good old tired and emotional.
Yeah, I'm tired and emotional. Yeah, it's been a long season for him. But no, fair play to him. Anyway, so that'll do us. As I say, just before I wrap up and let you go, Rangers have achieved probably the best title that they're going to achieve in my lifetime. We've dominated Scottish football this year, and we deserve to enjoy it. The hatred and the pathetic hate-fueled agendas are always going to be a thing, as long as people buy into it and buy the sad excuses of tabloids that they print. There is a vast amount of Rangers fan content, be it us, be it Heart and Hand, be it Four Lads, be it This Is Ibrox, A Gallant Few, etc., etc., etc. I could go on and on and on. We do this for one reason and one reason alone, and it's the love of our football club. I know we are not the biggest podcast by a long stretch of the imagination. We are not, but what we will always offer you as listeners is honesty and our views on the club that we love. We are genuinely delighted we have loyal listeners, people that continue to listen to us and continue to support us, and we are slightly confused by it because we've got no really idea why anyone would want to listen to us talk, in all honesty, but we do thank you for your continued support. It is hard sometimes to ignore the noise from the moon howlers, but just know we will always be here to offer you just a rest from the nonsense that's going on. We are fans. We're doing this for us. We're doing it for yous. We're doing it for the love of Rangers. By fans, for fans, and that's just the way that it should be. So that's really probably hopefully the last time we're going to have a conversation like that anyway. So Ali, that'll do us for tonight. A longer one tonight actually than we thought, but not really surprised considering the amount of stuff we had to get into. But thank you very much for your time, mate, and we'll speak on Friday for our club awards, mate.
Yeah, no, I look forward to that, and I'll see you then.
Magic. Scotia, thanks so much for your time, mate.
Yeah, cheers. Looking forward to Friday. I actually need to get my finger out and decide who's getting the Player of the Year award because I've still not decided.
I definitely have, but the goal of the season is moving about for me. To be honest, especially after watching a few videos back, I was like, "Oh, that's a screamer!" And there was just a few that I seen that I not forgot about, but just I'd not kind of as fresh in the memory. But Rangers have scored some amazing goals this season. Honestly, we really have. So it's going to be a tough one, but it should be an interesting show. I'm sure we'll be sitting down with a few beers to do it, so it should be good. So shameless plug time. But if you don't subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do. Like the videos, give us a wee 5-star review on Apple Podcast, leave a comment and share anywhere that you can. It really does support us and it really does make a huge difference. So that'll do us, gentlemen. Thank you to everybody for listening. We are Club at 22, the Champions podcast, and we will speak to you all next time. Cheers.